So for number 3, we're saying, hey, could you go ahead and write something in standard form? So it sounds like it's similar to question number 2, right? You have to write something in standard form, but then the given information, it's slightly different. It says, hey, could you go ahead and use the root here, okay? So it says one of the roots is 2 minus I, okay? And now, here's the thing about 2 minus I. If you know that one root is 2 minus I, you know what's the other root? 2 plus I, okay? All right, so if you can say 2 plus I, then I know you watched my videos. And now, why is it important? Okay, so we're saying, yeah, you know, the root, one of the roots is x is equal to 2 minus I, or if you know the 2 roots would be 2 plus or minus I. So what you're doing, how can you go from the root and revert it back to the original standard form equation? Then we're like, well, it's just going backward, basically, rolling back the tape. So we say, yeah, what's the step before this? It'll be this, okay? So you're rolling back the tape and say, well, what was the previous stage, okay? And why would we have plus or minus I? Oh, because you took the square root. So let's not take the square root. So we will say, let's go ahead. Square both sides, okay? Let's revert back to the original form. Let's not take the square root. Let's put the square back on. And you can see right here that I changed the I to square root of -1 because, well, the I would not be there anymore. I mean, you can still write I, but I like to put it this way. That makes it easier because the square and the square root, they will cancel each other out. So on the right-hand side, it is just -1 because plus or minus doesn't matter because after you square it, it's going to be positive. Square and square root, they cancel each other out. So that's how you get -1 on the right. Now, ask yourself, do you know what it's x minus 2 square? Okay, now this is a good moment to check your own understanding. I'm going to write down something and I hope you can tell me if it's right or wrong. Some people are going to write this. Is it right? It's wrong. Okay, so if you think this is the case, then you are likely thinking about just distributing the square, but that's not how it works. This is how you have x minus 2 square. And if you say, Mr. Chan, I have a hard time seeing this, no problem. Just make sure that you know that you're patient. Just make sure that you're patient enough to ask that question. What is the meaning of x minus 2 parentheses square? It means x minus 2 times x minus 2. And then you do the FOIL, okay? You do the FOIL, and you would get x squared minus 2x minus 2x plus 4. And that's how you get x squared minus 4x plus 4. Okay, just be patient and ask yourself, do you know what x minus 2 parentheses square means? And then we say, all right, let's go ahead and set it equal to 0 by adding 1 on both sides. Now, so we'd say, hey, that's our standard form. But then we've got a problem. See if you can spot out the problem here. If you look at the equation, okay, well, yeah, this is a standard form, but the C value is 5. But if you look at the given information, they actually give you the y-intercept of 0, 10. And the reason why they are different is because we still have something to take care of, which is our A value. Okay, so we could have factored something and divided it out. So we need to take that into account. And to find out the A value, well, you can now use the point that's given to you, which is 0, 10, to find out what the A is. And this would be a very easy task because I gave you the 0 for x values here. So that means 10 is equal to 5a. That means a is equal to 2. So you go ahead, put the 2 back into the a. And you multiply it out. And that would be your standard form equation. Okay, so I think the most challenging part is that are you familiar with the whole solving process from standard form to the root, and then can you roll back the tape and say, oh, I know how things would go if we go backward. Okay. Good.